Hello, hello, and welcome to the Self-Care Bear Club. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Care. That's me. And you are a self-aware bear, so thank you for listening. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your likes, your hearts, and your subscribes. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Spotify, and I'm on Apple Podcasts, and I'm in real life. I'm your favorite fitness coach in real life, yes. Anyways, shameless plug here. Today in the Self-Care Bear Club, we are talking about consumption. Consumption. You will be consumed by what you are consuming. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So again, there's no shame here in the Self-Care Bear Club. This is not for me to tell you how to live your life or what you can and cannot do. Simply my experience and those of, successful, healthy, well people around me that I aspire to be like. So the ultimate goal is to literally get into a headspace, a heart space, an emotional space where you can do anything and literally be okay. Your mind is that powerful, right? But there is science behind what we feed ourselves and what we consume with our eyeballs, our senses, all of our senses, right? And so you may not be aware that you are consuming these things, but if you're doing so in vast in great what am I trying to say, amounts, like in big amounts, like if you're on your cell phone all day and you're not even doing a little bit of work to counteract that, chances are you're going to feel that on a physical level, on an emotional level, on a mental level, on a spiritual fucking level, for show. So today we're just going to talk about a few things that you might be doing that could be affecting you if you are not super self-aware, or if you are super self-aware and you're just trying to make a few fine tweaks, right? Everything I mentioned today, again, you're probably not going to want to cut cold turkey. That's not how we do things here. We are not about restricting ourselves in the Self-Care Bear Club, right? That's not the point. It's just to be a little bit mindful and to notice how you feel and your patterns, and notice if there's anything you want to change to be your best self, feel like your best self, right? You already are your best self. The best self is the one you got. So no blame, no shame. You're doing A-okay. But let's talk about what we're consuming. So I am consuming a giant, this was gifted to me, thanks BK, giant thing of purified water in a giant Stanley thing, if y'all know what a Stanley is. Yeah. So water, some of the best things you can, the best things, some of the best molecules you can consume. For real though, consume more water. How about we do that? We can consume more whole foods, right? I love all type of foods. I eat all the foods. But when you're eating, maybe you can follow the rainbow rule, which we've definitely talked about before, right? The more colors on your plate you can get at one time, the more nutrients, generally speaking, you're going to get. So let's fill it up with red peppers, green peppers, red onions, white chicken, sweet potatoes, oranges, cherries, this vibrancy when you're eating, especially when it comes to veggies and fruits, obviously, is going to give you a lot of different nutrients, a lot of different vitamins, a lot of different things that our body needs, right? So again, if you're eating a plate full of rice and chicken and it's all white that day, it started to affect the way I eat things. It just looks bland, right? So my mind's instantly wait, but no blame or shame. I'm gonna eat sausage, biscuits and gravy. Yeah, sausage, biscuits, and gravy all the time. And that's such the same color. But anyways, I digress. Follow the rainbow rule when you're consuming foods, when you can. Whoa, excuse me, I got the burps drinking all that water. All 56 fucking ounces of it. It's only 40, but this thing is heavy. If you also want to strength train when you're working out here, get yourself a giant ass Stanley, because that shit's heavy. And so it's like you're drinking and hydrating and you're also working your muscles at the same time. Yay! So these are just some things that I think we can all consume more of to instantly start to feel better, right? What else could we consume more of? Good music, uplifting music. Uplifting music. I won't tell you what kind, but uplifting music, right? We can consume more good news. Some more good news. So let's talk about the few things that maybe you're consuming too much of that are affecting you and you don't even know it, right? So let's shed a little light on those things. So I want to talk specifically about caffeine, alcohol, and like negativity, honestly. That's not the right way to say that, but just like, I guess, social media or media. We'll call it media. So caffeine, alcohol, and media are three big ones that, as humans, generally speaking, the majority of us out here are consuming that on a daily basis. So caffeine is a big one. I have had a back and forth relationship with caffeine, and I'm just here to tell you that nothing about caffeine is something that we need physically. We don't need it. It's fun. It can be helpful, especially if you're trying to stay awake on a long drive, right? But over time, we become dependent on it and we need more of it. And if we're consuming 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day, 4 or 5 Coca Colas a day, or even you might have cut back and you're feeling hypersensitive to 2 or 3, right? Caffeine is just something you don't need. So if you've been consuming a lot of caffeine, consciously or unconsciously, and you find yourself struggling to sleep at night, if you find yourself a little bit anxious or a little bit on edge, you find yourself quick to react or quick to snap back, right? You find your thoughts racing all the time. This is the kind of consumption I'm talking about that we might not even be aware of. Like we don't even want to go there. We want to take a pill and be like, okay, I can't sleep, so let me just take a pill. But caffeine, and especially in high quantities, like, it's going to make you feel jittery, anxious, wired, right? It literally cannot give you energy. Like, it doesn't do anything for your energy levels. I actually absolutely hate when I'm like really tired or be hungover and I drink some coffee, like, because I think it'll make me feel better. And then I'm so sensitive to it nowadays that then I'm just like so freaking tired and wired at the same time. I personally hate that feeling. Maybe you love it, so keep doing you, boo. But again, if you're having trouble getting to sleep at night, or there's just an edge about you that you have been wanting to simmer down, check your caffeine intake, check your caffeine consumption. And again, start small, my friend. Don't cut it out cold turkey. There's no need for that. You're doing just great. But if you have 3 cups, maybe take it down to 2 cups. Try some decaf. Replace it with something else. That'll lead me to our alcohol conversation here. Alcohol can be super fun, can be super great, can be super fine, right? When done in moderation. You know those things on the back of the bottle that always says, drink responsibly. And I always laughed at that growing up because I was not a responsible drinker in my past life. But it was like, drink responsibly. Like, drink responsibly. Okay, I'm the kind of person that has a few drinks and it's like, that I want to drink, so I'm like not responsible for anything. You know what I'm saying? So whether you are a moderate drinker, a heavy drinker, or a very minimal drinker, notice how it makes you feel. Again, notice how it makes you feel with no shame, blame, or guilt. That's the hardest part. If you've had, like, stuff if you've lived a life full of shame, blame, and guilt. It's hard not to judge yourself. So don't judge yourself. That's a practice in itself. But just notice, like, okay, I've started telling myself recently that, or reminding myself that alcohol is a literal depressant, right? So caffeine's a literal stimulant. Alcohol is a literal depressant. So again, if you have been finding yourself in a loop of like maybe even just having one drink a day, or like having 4 to 5 drinks on the weekends, or whatever fucking days, right? Whatever your patterns are, if you're feeling like this pattern of depression or sadness or like stuckness, and you do drink on the higher side of alcohol, I would say, like you're more to a moderate to a heavy drinker, and you're just expecting to feel good and happy all the time while still doing that, it's possible. I've done it. But if you're needing a little extra oomph, right? If your mind isn't that powerful this season, we are going to tend to the physical body as well. We're going to be like, okay, alcohol is a depressant, and I've been feeling a little less than shiny lately. Maybe, again, instead of 2 drinks, I can have 1 tonight, because it all turns into a pattern, right? When I was grieving this last season, hadn't been drinking for a while, whatever, no big deal. I had 1 here or there, no big deal. And then wine became a pattern because I didn't want to feel, right? And I've known all this stuff about all this for a long time. So it's about the embodiment and then the balance, finding what really works for you. Me drinking wine in that season, did it really work for me? No. But yeah, I was okay with it. I accepted it, right? Because the last thing you want to do is be getting drunk out here and not accepting who you are, not accepting what you're doing, because then you're not in alignment. And I'm like, make it make sense. Like, you can be all the things at once. So there was also a level who was like, nah, like, this is not how we deal with our emotions, Carrie. But we're gonna be all right, right? I wasn't getting drunk all day, every day, and like not living my life. I was just like having a glass of wine every night because it just like calmed my nerves. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, that was not helping my grief and my depression. And that's a personal choice. Like, right? That was, in the grand scheme of things, I knew that that was not sustainable. I knew that that was more of a pattern than anything else. I knew that I could get through it without adding alcohol as a depressant. And so, again, I just need you to remind yourself that whatever the substance is that you're consuming, like, it is not necessary for your survival. So maybe try to take a break here and there and just make sure that you can. Or definitely, and pay attention to how it makes you feel. Because that's what it's all about, how you feel. This is what this episode is about. This is what every episode is about, how you feel. So if there's something that you can cut back on to make you feel better, that's the goal, right? So if you find yourself feeling depressed, slow, sick, right? Sick, if you're getting sick a lot and you really enjoy alcohol, maybe take a step back and see if it changes your mood at all. See if it changes your personality at all. And some people think alcohol helps them sleep. No, it does quite the opposite. Anything more than 1 drink, you might think you're out here sleeping deep. You, my friend, are not sleeping deep. It fucks with your sleep so hard. So again, maybe if you're feeling tired, I always feel a little bit anxious actually after I drink too much, because it depresses your mood, right? And then whatever needs to feel comes back hardcore after a heavy night of drinking, right? So just food for thought here. Third one, media. What kind of media are you consuming, right? Your social media, what's on your Netflix queue, right? Are you watching a lot of porn still? Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Again, this is not to shame you for wanting to get freaky and stuff, but porn is a big one for me, y'all. Like, I'm gonna marry a man that does not watch porn. Like, we can't. When did that become normal? And this has nothing like sex, have sex, get freaky, have your kinks, like whatever. But like, we do not need to be watching complete strangers like doing really whatever things like constantly, right? That just, it literally, it's science if you want to like get into the science of it, right? Like, that's so not good for your testosterone as a man. That's so not good for your self-esteem as a woman, or probably a man as well. And like, there's just so many things that like let's bring it back to like a good old like hot girl, right? A good old hot girl magazine. Like, get your Sports Illustrated on. Like a little modesty goes a long way around here. So again, no shame if you're in that thing, but notice how it actually makes you feel. Like, I was never a huge porn watcher, but the few times that I did watch it, like when I would like really like feel spicy or whatever, like instantly, sorry mom and dad, like instantly when it was over, like I would just feel like blah. And it wasn't shame I was feeling, it was just like blah. Like, that's not something I personally need to watch. So let's get off the porn subject here and get back to like what I feel strongly about that. Clearly that's something that is like, and now I know, like, no, I don't think it's supposed to be that way. But enough about my beliefs. If you're doing that a lot, you probably feel some type of way. So just pay attention. More like casually speaking, your social media feed, whether it be a lot of naked girls or a lot of political things or a lot of like anything that is just not uplifting you, right? Like, my feed is nothing but like spirituality and personal growth and fitness. And even that sort of consumption, friends, even when it's good and great and awesome, it can still lead you to feelings of comparison, of judgment, of ickiness. So it can be something good that you're consuming way too much. Again, you have to be so sensitive to the way you feel. There's a Mark Twain quote that I heard recently. It's like, if you ever find yourself on the side of the majority, then it's time to like reevaluate. So like, if you're really into politics, like, I know you want to stay in your political party, friend. Like, that's what it is right now in this year 2025. And I just really invite you. I've gotten swept up into the whole like thing as well. And I am here to tell you, I am not no politics for me, friends. You don't need to know mine. I don't really have any. I don't really care, because if you think that the government is coming to save you, or that this is like somehow truly like running your life, like, I answer to like a higher power, you know what I mean? So anyways, again, if that is your identity and that is the only thing you care about, like, you is never going to be happy. So you have to pay attention to what you're consuming and how it makes you feel, even if you think it's so good for you and you are justified and you have this belief, right? Like, is it serving you? Is it serving you? And there's a way to have beliefs and values and political views where it does serve you. So again, I'm not speaking on that. I'm just saying, check your Instagram feed, check your Facebook feed, check yourself. If you just cannot get off the phone, if you're always consuming, no matter what it is, let's not even judge what you're consuming right now. If you're always consuming, if you're always on your phone, if you're always with the TV on, if you always have to have a screen in front of your face, like, you are consuming, you don't even know what you're consuming anymore. You're just consuming everything that is not your own. And I invite us to step back, baby steps, set a timer, sleep without your phone, right? Cut down on your porn. Go through your feed. If it makes you feel icky, take it off. And let's create a little bit more. And by create, you don't have to do anything crazy. You can get a fucking coloring book, right? You can get creative on a walk. We can get creative right now. Let's make up a little dance. Ay, ay, ay. Like, just breathe. And pay attention to your consumption. What you consume will consume you. And if you're not consuming healthy, wealthy, loving things, like actively, if you aren't actively loving yourself, then chances are you're self-loathing, and you might not even know it, my friends. So thank you for being here. I know you know it. Just pay attention, be kind to yourself, give yourself grace. Again, you have the power to do whatever you want in this life. And I'm not judging what you're consuming. I promise. I'm simply just trying to make us aware of how our consumption makes us feel, and then to make better choices dependent upon that. As always, everything you need to know is within. So give yourself a big old hug and take care out there, my friends. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.